Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Smoke Dispersion Briefing for Friday, February 10th, 2017. Precipitation amounts are shown here for yesterday on the left and the past 7 days on the right. Yesterday continued to be an active day across the north and western portions of the region, with some pretty heavy amounts of precipitation observed over the central Idaho Mountains, western Wyoming, and along the Sierra Front. A drier pattern has been seen over southern and eastern portions of the Great Basin over the last 7 days. Some of that's going to change over the next 24 to 48 hours as we're seeing an area of low pressure draw some moisture up into the Great Basin starting today and continuing into Saturday and even Sunday. This moisture will be moving into eastern Nevada and Utah throughout the day today. Current advisories from the National Weather Service are shown here, with many areas under flood warning and flood advisories for portions of western Nevada, northeast Nevada, much of Idaho, and portions of northern Utah. We also see an area of winter storm warnings across western Wyoming and winter weather advisories over most of the mountains of Utah as the moisture moves through those areas today and into tomorrow. The ventilation index for today is fairly high over western and southern portions of the region, with the lower elevations of Idaho, eastern Nevada, and northern Utah on the lower end. Gusty winds are moving into southern Nevada and southern Utah ahead of the area of low pressure. This has increased the ventilation rates in those regions. By Saturday, the center of the low pressure will dig south into southern California, allowing moisture to linger across the southern Great Basin. Ventilation rates will increase over much of Utah and Nevada tomorrow, following behind this storm. Gustier northwest winds with cooler temperatures will move into the Great Basin. By Sunday, the low pressure should be exiting the region to the south, allowing high pressure to begin to build into the northern portions of the area. This will once again decrease the ventilation index across the north. Very light winds are expected on Sunday, with low mixing heights and a fairly stable atmosphere. Areas further south may still see some good mixing on Sunday, as the low pressure will still be influencing the weather in those areas. The clearing index forecast for Utah shows some pretty high values for today, particularly over central and southern portions of the state, decreasing somewhat statewide on Saturday and further decreasing to some pretty poor values for Sunday. The 3-day precipitation accumulation is shown here, with the bulk of the precipitation occurring over eastern Nevada and over much of Utah, particularly the higher elevations, and also up into the western Wyoming mountains. Some of this moisture is expected to dig pretty far south into the Great Basin, including the Arizona Strip and the southeast corner of Utah. On Monday and into the first part of next week, high pressure returns to the Great Basin, bringing sunny skies and a more stagnant air mass to the area. The current ventilation index images for the first part of next week are unavailable, but we can anticipate that those values will be fairly poor under the high pressure system that will be building into the region. High pressure continues to dominate the area on Tuesday and into Wednesday, although by Thursday we'll begin to see the hints of another storm system moving into the west coast, which will bring our next chance of precipitation. The precipitation accumulations for days 4 and 5 is shown here, with pretty much high and dry expected for Monday through Wednesday of next week. The extended forecast from the Climate Prediction Center, looking for the third week of February, is calling for below normal temperatures along the west portions of the area and possibly above normal temperatures in the eastern half, with above normal precipitation expected region-wide, as we're still looking for these atmospheric river events moving into the southwest U.S. This concludes today's briefing. Please check back on Monday for the latest updates.